society. How's everybody out there? I feel when I started, when I was inspired to start sharing things that I know to assist you, I wanted a podcast. That's my first choice, podcast. Got the equipment, so I'm still working on that. So I said, hey, YouTube was easy. We can make this to a podcast, and y'all been in agreement with that so far. Few complaints because people don't understand why you got a screen and it's dark. Well, now you know why. Okay, now we got a few people in here. We're gonna talk about storytelling. Now, the first story that most of us can relate to is the Garden of Eden and what happened. And a lot of things are learned from that garden. A lot of things are learned from what happened in that garden. A Garden of Eden is a allegory for everything's right. You're right with your creator. You're right with the world. There's law and there's order and there's love. So we asked a lot of questions from that story. Why was man given the leadership? He was the one to keep law and order, to enforce the law. He shared with him, don't do this, don't do that. But you got to know your role now. You got to know what you're supposed to do. Otherwise, someone can come along and tell you, no, this is what you do. But you get what you asked for. Meaning, he wasn't satisfied to be in union with the creator. He wanted to be like a creator himself. He wanted to have somebody who would follow and obey him. Yes, follow and obey. But he got somebody who want to tell him what to do. Y'all follow me? Y'all following the story? Because I want you to relate it to your life. Well, not your life, anyone's life. Not to be personal with you, because I don't know your situation. But I know there's disorder in the world because the head is not screwed on right. Men are not being men, laying down the law in their families. That's what you're supposed to do. You can just see it by the way those who you are to protect and provide for are gone, but why? Because you ain't doing your job. You're not supposed to be liked, men. You're not supposed to be liked. If you're doing your job, you will not be liked. You don't have to be in your organic family, be anyone. They just don't like law and order. I told my niece, she's just turning about 19 or 20, because the clothes she had on, showing on YouTube was inappropriate. That was inappropriate. That's all the word I said. She didn't ask for clarification or what I mean, or she just flew off the handle. and said, what did she say? Oh, I wear what I want to wear. You see, we don't have a close communication. We're in different cities, so she can talk to me like that. She don't know me like that. And she's just stopped talking to me. That's been over a couple of years ago. Because she was raised by her mother. There was no man around to put order and law in the house. If there was, he didn't do his job. That's what I'm saying. It's not on the women. It's on you, man. You got to do your job, and everybody will see it when you do your job. Because the subtlety of evil is all around us. Very innocently. Did God say you shouldn't eat from the tree? I always questioning, and they don't. In other words, if they come to you, if you're the man and they ask you that, and you supposed to say, "Oh, yeah, he did, and this is how, this is why." But usually they won't do that. They just talk to him in their own mind. Now, I hope when you listen. There's the one reason why it's black screen because you can be doing things as you listen. I don't want to waste take up your time. I want to enhance your time. So the best time to listen to my audios, my podcast, is when you're on the way to work or driving, because you don't have to look at the screen. You can just listen and get the energy. That's what you're receiving. That's why you're coming back and you love me, because I'm giving you good energy. Good vibrations. That's what it's all about. Good vibrations. You're around bad vibes. You say, how can I get out of here? Yeah, plan out how to get away, how to get away from the bad vibes. That's how the bad vibes are not really hurting you. They're helping you, helping you to get away, to find peace. So this subtlety is everywhere, as I said. There's people on the internet now who telling stories. And if you didn't know it was fiction, you may believe it's true. I mean, he put pictures up there, people you know. He talks about it like he was there. Give you an example. The last story he did was about the last story I saw. It may be more about Jasmine Crockett and Torre, Ibrahim Torre. He was saying how she called him up and they had a wonderful, enlightening conversation, and he was stunned. He was speechless. And the movement was started behind that, and people was asking for Jasmine to come to their country. And I mean, everything was lovey-dovey the way he told the story. But in that story, you would think it's real until you find out it's not real. But in that whole story of all this lovey-dovey, not once did he mention oppression. Not once did he mention colonialism. Not once did he mention why the fight. So these stories are told, and I ask myself, why would he do that? Why would he try to get into your feelings and not tell the truth? So anybody who's doing that, you know who they are. If you're not talking about what's real, you're talking about pie in the sky, you're not about law and order. You're not about truth. Don't let your feelings get into what is true and what is not true. I said, man, what subtlety, what slyness. And all these stories are like that to obscure the truth, to get into your, yeah, everybody should love everybody, everybody should be la 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 land. But you can't get there ignoring the truth. You know, people have a conspiracy of silence. They've hidden so much information and things they know, they just taking a vow of silence. But it's acted out on the world stage. You see the way the world is now? That's because these people taking a vow of silence. They refuse to speak out. They refuse because of advantage, privilege. Take a breath here. That's a lot to digest. Hey, what's going on in the chat? Yes. Greetings to all y'all. Any questions on what's being said? I just had to take a breath there. That was a lot. That was a lot. 10 minutes of a dialogue. But I got the point across. And the point is, don't get into your feelings, men. You know they're there, but you'll not be liked because you are telling the truth. You bring in law and order. You have to. That's your job. If you don't do it in your family, you're going to pay the price. And you should. So all this woman bashing out here, what the women doing, it's because you ain't doing your job. No, I'm not saying force anybody to do anything. You gotta know how to do it in a loving way. But you're not doing it. Especially this melanated man. Y'all so far away from what y'all supposed to be doing. You let your women walk around naked. You let your women walk around naked. And you go on YouTube and honor that nakedness. You support it. No, she don't look beautiful if she's naked. She's breaking the law. Okay, go back in your ancestors if you know who you are and see when do we go naked. We're not Africans. Nothing against Africans. But that's why they want to take you back. They want to say you from there because then you was naked in the jungle. And there's nothing wrong with that because they was in the jungle. But no, man, you are descendants of royalty. You wasn't in no jungle. You civilized the world. How can you walk around naked? That's because knowledge of who you are was hidden from you. Now digest that. Well, that's my time for now. I put a lot out there for y'all to digest. And we'll talk again soon. Adios.